So we're about to talk about measuring, guys, and this is an old drawing that I did for a different portion of the class. But what I wanted to mention was the easiest way I could describe measuring to you all. So the main idea behind this is that when you're looking at an object in space or printed out on a paper or on a screen and you're drawing it, we'll have a technique which basically allows us to say, okay, if I'm trying to replicate this glass, we're going to use our drawing tool or pencil to be able to measure out, again, whether it's in three-dimensional, a real object in front of us or on a screen, how wide is this object? And let's compare it to its height. And I could fit one, two, a little more than two of the widths in the height, which means it's just a bit more than double tall as it is wide. So let's check that with this object at its widest point. So I'm here around the base of this paintbrush. I'm going to lock that in and I'm going to check one, two. I can fit more than three widths into the length. So this is more than 3 times long than it is deep this way. So those are things that we can check in our drawings. And when I go to replicate this, I better make sure that it's more than 3 times long than it is wide. And that's going to help me to make this more accurate. So let's get into it in a new drawing here in just a second. Let's talk about measuring today. So this is a technique in drawing that's going to be your most efficient and easiest way to get accurate results when you're freehanding a drawing. So I'm going to be working in a red colored pencil. You can use really any color here. I'm just trying to go with something that's going to complement my darker graphite here in a second. So I'm going to start my loose beginning stages with red, and then we'll clean it up at the end with graphite. We're just going to be drawing this hand sanitizer over here. So picking one simple object for starters. Even though this object's not too complex, there's a few things going on. So we've got a cap, like the head, the neck, the shoulders, and the body. And getting all of that accurate to each other can be tricky sometimes. So I'll show you how measuring can help make your drawing more accurate. Now for starters, I'm just going to start with a very loose gesture line and begin to block this bad boy out a little bit. So trying to keep this in the range of our video. Now I'm just going to use my best guess as far as how big this should be on my page. So let's see, I'm skinning it up a little bit because I know this thing's much taller than it is wide. We've got shoulders, we've got somewhere in here there's going to be a neck. Make sure that's roughly in the middle. And then even higher up, we're going to have a pump. Now I know this is very loose, but this is just the block in to see, okay, are we anywhere near close? So that's going to be my very first, very rough gesture. That's step one. Now comes the measuring portion. So what I'm going to do, now just so you guys know, I'm going to be using my left hand to measure this object. And in my drawing, which you can see is bigger, the drawing appears bigger than this object actually is in space. I'm going to use my actual drawing hand, my right hand, to do my measurements. Now in real life, I'm going to try to work around this. I have a camera right here in front of me. So it's really hard to measure this with my right hand. But in real life, if I was drawing, I would be using my right hand because it's my dominant hand the whole time. And it's a little easier to take my measurements, just so you all know. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to measure out here with my left. So the idea with measuring is a little bit like when we find those angles in that video I showed you before. You're always going to imagine that there's kind of a plexiglass wall, a window you're looking through. So anytime you're taking a measurement, we're holding the pencil straight up like this, not zooming out in space. And if you're taking a sideways measurement, straight out and not, pushing forward and breaking that plane as if there's a window flat up here. So that's step one. When you take a measurement, make sure that your hand is all the way out in front of you and your elbow is locked. I know you can't see my elbow, but my arm's straight out in front of me so that it's always the same distance from my body. It doesn't help me if I'm constantly moving forward and then bending my arm back, because these measurements we take are going to change if we're changing how far our arm is forward in space. So what is measuring? What I'm going to do, follow along with me here. On your video screen, use your pencil, hold it up in front of you with your arm extended all the way out, and we're going to use our pencil point as one measuring point. I'm going to line that pencil point up, and let me use my other hand to show you. That pencil point is going to hit this right edge of the body of my jar here, bottle, and I'm going to use my thumb to lock in the left side. So now, if you see, let me make sure my arm's extended, beautiful. My hand's a little shaky, but you get the idea. I now have one width locked into my pencil. Now what I'm going to do is check the width against the length. So I have taken my pencil from horizontal and I'm flipping it up never moving my thumb. And now I'm going to check how many widths are there in the length of this thing, the overall height. So using my thumb at the bottom, I now see that my pencil goes up to this red line. Oop, just about, maybe the top of the red line. So I've got one width. Now I'm going to double it. 2 widths takes me to here. And now 2 and about a half widths to get all the way up to this point. That's a good thing to know. So what we just found out is this is 2.5 times taller, x, times taller than it is wide. So let's check this in the drawing now. I know my lines are a little hairy, but let's say I'm right around here, hovering around here for my width. Let's see how close I was, and all of us were. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you've done a loose sketch of your bottle like I did. Now, let's check our width. So I've got my width locked in here. Let's make sure we have a bottom mark for the sake of this drawing right now. That's going to be my very bottom. Now I'm going to take the width. Okay, I've got it locked in on my pencil. I'm going to flip it vertical. So I've got 1, right here, 2. Ooh, I'm close, except I'm a little short. Ooh, I'm a little short. Okay, so see how that's a little bit less than 2.5 lengths that I can fit in there. I'm at like 2.25. So I've got 2 options. I could either stretch it out taller, but I don't have much room on my video here on my paper because of what I've done here. So what that means is instead I could skinny it up. That's the other choice that I have. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of space off the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Just a little bit. Now this part's a little bit guess and check. We kind of just have to roll with it. So let's see if that's a little better. Now I'm going to take my width. So I put 2 new notches in there that are a little bit shorter. Now let's try this again. 1. Okay, there's my new point. 2. Ooh, I think we're going to be closer. About 2.5. I might have even skinnied it up too much. So I'm just going to bust out a little bit wider than those points. And perfect, we find that sweet spot. I think that's going to be close enough without having to measure again. So now I'm confident that given my height, if this is the top of my spray pump, or whatever you want to call it, pump nozzle, if that's the bottom, that this is roughly the right width. So now I'm going to go ahead and lock in my closest approximation to vertical lines. And notice they're still a little hairy and scratchy. It's okay. I'm keeping this pretty light and loose with my colored pencil. Now the base of this, we know it's a cylinder, so I'm going to lock in a flat line for an axis here, because we already know our width is pretty close to accurate. Adding in my swoop. Okay, close. Now let's do a couple other measurement checks. So let's see, for example, if we took one width of the bottle, which now is this wide on my drawing, and I took it from the top of the pump and dropped it down, where do I end up in the bottle's height? So I end up right around here. So I would call that right around the shoulder curve in the bottle, somewhere in here. Let's check and see if that's the case in real life. So let's get that width locked in again. Make sure your arm's all the way extended. Locking in the width. I'm going to go from the top pump down. And I am just below or right around the shoulder curve, maybe just a hair below. So what that tells me is, if this is my width point right here, maybe I need to make those shoulders extend up just a little bit higher in my drawing, and I might have to compress this nozzle, which is totally doable right now. So that's telling me I need to just raise that shoulder arc a little bit higher, which is a good thing to know. Okay, so that's going to be the roundedness of the shoulders roughly. Now I can start to think about, well, let me make sure I get a nice vertical axis. Okay, now I'm going to start to plant the neck, this kind of bigger cylinder. Make sure that's nice and straight. Notice how this cylinder actually dips down over, or kind of overlaps these shoulders just a little bit. Still trying to make this feel pretty rounded. Now another thing we can check, just for the heck of it, let me check the width of this, the way I drew it, because I'm just kind of guesstimating here. So I'm going to take that width. It's almost exactly 1/2 of the overall width of the bottle. 1, 2. That's a good thing to check. So let's check here. I'm going to take this width. I've locked that in. And let's see, are we at the center mark? Ooh, pretty close. One. Yeah, really close. So that's a good sign. I'm pretty happy with that. Height of this, I'm just going to kind of feel my way through a little bit. Let's see, the nozzle is right here. So that might be the best thing to start to lock in a bit to help me think about the height. That means I'm actually going to drop down my ellipse just a smidge, so I have plenty of room for this second cylinder that comes down and kind of grows out of this first bigger one. Beautiful. Now the length of the nozzle, this is important. I can check this based on other things. So for example, this I don't even have to measure. I can use, say, my vertical axes. So if I hold up a vertical line to the edge of that cylinder, this one doesn't pop out quite as far. So vertical line, oop, I was a little far over. I'm going to slim that down just a little bit. That's a good thing to note. If I drop a line down from the tip of that nozzle, it's in line or maybe even a little further. Oops, sorry, I'm moving my board here. Then it stretches outside this edge. So we know that we want this to be somewhere in here, which I already was. That's good. So I had to shift it a bit here, but we're good over here. So that's a good sign. I'm going to go ahead and draw just that little bit of a curve here, a little round over on the back end. I'm pretty happy with where that is. So all that work went into a pretty simple shape, just kind of measuring those distances and making sure I'm not too far off. Now you could measure where the label is, but I think that I can use my best judgment here based on if everything else is pretty accurate. I think I can feel my way through where the label begins. Make myself a nice cylinder here, or sorry, elliptical form. And at the bottom, right around here, is where we're going to have a curved line showing the end of that label. Beautiful. And now we have something that's pretty accurate to that original one. Now this is important to note. I wasn't taking the width and saying, okay, this thing is this wide, and now it should be this wide in real life. No, it's much smaller, or I'm sorry, in my drawing. So from real life, saying, okay, if it's this wide here, I'm just going to transfer that to my paper. Well, that would have made me make a really baby small bottle. That's not what we're doing. What I'm checking is how wide is this thing compared to, or in a ratio to, how tall it is. So it's more of a ratio system. So you might write that down. It's one length or distance in comparison to another. Okay. Once you get to this stage, this is where you don't have to measure quite as much because we did a lot of that hard work already. And now we can come in and really clean up these lines. Now you could start that process with your colored pencil if you wanted to. So this is where I go from holding it like this, really loose and gestural, to now let's go ahead and start to fine tune these lines. And if you notice, if I push and bear down a little bit harder on the colored pencil, I can really get some nice clean dark marks, which is kind of fun to do. So maybe practice that a little bit and try that with your colored pencil. It's nice to do in a few key areas. I'm going to definitely showcase a little bit of that on my spout here. And then we'll come in with graphite just to clean it up a little bit more. Now, before you go really dark, this is something I probably should have mentioned just a second ago, so bear with me here. Before you go really dark with these lines, a good thing to check is your verticals. So always double check and hold your pencil up. You could use a ruler too, but I hold my pencil and I try to say, okay, if this is the vertical edge of my paper or my board, I'd better be in a pretty good vertical line here. That looks good. This looks good. Okay, I'm happy. What you don't want to see is if this line was leaning like this and then I move over to my paper, oh shoot. That means I'm leaning or bending in one way or the other. So watch out for that. Okay. So I've come in with a bit cleaner line work here on the outer edges with just my colored pencil. Now you can even take that a step further with your graphite pencil on top. And I'll show you, this is kind of a cool look when you go graphite on top of and around a colored pencil, I think. So I've got a semi-dark graphite pencil. You might go HB, you might go with 2B if you're really confident in where you are in the drawing. So now these lines are going to pop obviously quite a bit more because we're dealing with graphite and it's a dark gray. And now you can see all those loose structural lines and even like some of the edits that we made, which I happen to think is really cool. But we can also start to show a bunch of detail lines as well. Starting to show those little kind of ribbed lines on the edge of my cylinder. We don't see them quite so dark over here because we're in the light. And again, nice and slow, steady. A lot of people say they have trouble with these steady lines, but if you notice, I'm now resting my hand on my board. So it's okay to lean on the board a little bit, kind of take the pressure off of your wrist and your arm, you know, where you're kind of dancing around in the beginning. Really slow these down. I work pretty slow these down. I work kind of quick because I've been doing this for a while, but you know, don't hold yourself to too high of a standard right off the bat here. All right, beautiful. Not totally finished, but this gives you a good example of beginning loosely, not even erasing those structural lines, and then bringing the detail in later with a darker, cleaner graphite contour line.